Hi, I'll be starting by presenting the name and the flow of our project. We have created a bug detector. So the basic flow is that a client will uh, send in a bug to be resolved by manager or a developer. So the ticket goes to the manager, and the manager can assign it to a developer, and then the developer can resolve the ticket or do some manipulations in it. So first, let's start with the client. So this is how a client's page looks like. These are the bar graphs which the client's tickets are stored as in the graph charts, and these are the tickets that client has been generated towards the manager. So let's say I'd like to raise a ticket over here. Let's say it's a bug, and he wants to change the font of something, and I'd assign the priority as medium over here, and then I'll raise the ticket. So once he rises the ticket, he can go to the tickets and search over here for change font, and here it is. So this will be a ticket that was raised by the client, and for the manager to check the ticket, let's log in as the manager. And this is how the manager's first page looks like. These are all the tickets that are raised by the clients, which is stored in the bar graphs, and these are all the tickets that are sent to the manager by the client. And in manager there's also tickets that are for his personal use, or which is not assigned to others but to himself. So here, so this is the ticket that was just raised by the client, change font. So once he finds it out, he can assign the ticket to a developer, which we named it as F, and he updates it over here. And then once we log in as a developer, and this is the front page of the developer, and these are all the tickets as in it is. And over here, this is the ticket assigned by the manager, which was just called out by the client. So once the developer checks it out, he can update the status of it by selecting its open, in progress, closed, or cancel. Let's say he wants to close the ticket, and he just updates the ticket, and you can see that over here the ticket has been closed. And um, now let's go to the coding part. So in the coding part, I'll explain about the bar graphs and charts which I have done. So over here it's the views of the, it's view.py. So in here the data is fetched, and the status model is fetched from the uh, client, and it has been uploaded into the list, and it has been sent into the HTML pages where it can be showed as a charts. So the data fetched over there will be shown as charts over here, and we have used two types of chart, which is bar graph and a pie chart, both in client and for the staff. So in staff, we have assigned it for both manager and the developer over here. And now I would like to go to the nav bars. In nav bars, we have multiple nav bars, one for staff and the other for client. So this nav bar is for client. So we have one for tickets, one for rising ticket, and login and logout. So we have used over here is authenticated because it can logout can only be used for the ones who have already been authenticated. So that is why we have put this constraint over here. And once if we go to nav staff bar, over here we have assigned this all tickets which can be viewed only by the manager. So I have put a constraint over here as role id is equals to 2, so that only the manager can see all the tickets that can be raised. So role id 2 is for manager according to the code, and these are just the other nav bars like my tickets, logout and login, which are for client and developers, and which is also authenticated only if it has been authenticated. And from css and from here Abhilash will be explaining the rest of the code.
Hi, this is Abhilash. I'm the other project teammate who also happens to be Sandesh's roommate. So, let me just go over in detail about, in detail with the code. So let's start with the core app. We have two apps, to be honest, not honest, yeah. Core and bugs. So core app basically handles all kinds of authentication and those sort of stuff. Let me just go and show the models. So models is where this is where I face the most difficulty, to be honest, because we created our own user model. So in general, people would like to use their own inbuilt model, not own built inbuilt model, is it? No, there's one user inbuilt model, and I decided to not choose that and go ahead and use my own user profile model. So these are all the fields that I have, and these are all the fields that I have to use if I'm creating my own personal user profile model. So there are a bunch of things that you kind of have to do, like you have to override this, you have to inherit this base user manager and take care of what super user can do and can't do. So yeah, this is a little bit weird, to be honest. And yeah, the reason why I went ahead with this custom user model is because my user model is referencing role model. So i I have role model right here, and so I needed to add that, and I've added it here as a foreign key. So coming to the views, so views, once they get logged in as manager, uh, yeah, this is where I'm handling how different users are logging into different pages. That is being handled by here, by this condition, role id is 2. If the role id 2 is basically manager and role id 3 is developer. These are all charts, and this is explained and done by my teammate Sandesh. And this is John is pretty much similar to how it was for P1. It's almost copy paste, you can say that. And this is user login page, and nothing too fancy or different about it. And this is user logout, and pretty much that's it in this core app. And coming to the bugs, this is where pretty much everything happens in my project. So I've got this five models. So bug type is, it has the types of bugs, like as we have shown earlier in this video, that there were different types of bugs like enhancement, website content updates, bugs, like those different types are stored in this bug type. And coming to the priority, yeah, let me just go and show the priority. I don't think we saw that. Yeah, these are all the priorities. So we basically have three kinds of priorities: high, medium, and low. And this is yeah, this is stored in this bug priority model. And coming to bug status, again we have different status, like open, closed, new. All these are stored in this one. And bug hist oh bug I'll come to that later. And This is bug class. This has bug id, bug type. Bug type is it's referencing to this one. Bug priority, it's referencing again, not I don't know if referencing is the right word. It's just uh, using it as a foreign key to this model. And again, bug priority, bug d. This is the only, I think, yeah, maybe, yeah, this is the only field that is specific to the bug. Everything else is, I think, it's referencing to different models. Yeah. And this is bug history. Oh, the reason why I have bug history and bug, because I needed to keep track of who is creating the bug and also who is the owner of the bug. I can't have both the things at once. So this bug is basically saving the owner, and bug history is saving the creator. The creator is usually, not usually, it definitely has to be the client. uh, so I didn't have a lot of flexibility. This is the best way I could do. I needed to store it in different models. So there you go. That's about it. Coming to the models, views. Yeah, the views. This is tickets. This is for client tickets. Just getting the data and sending it to HTML page, and raising tickets. This is, I'm getting a form data here. You can probably see some. I got these three different forms, and I'm sort of using this here big and saving it. That's like nothing too fancy, just getting data from forms. And in views, I'm just getting the clean data and creating the object and saving it into the database. So that's, sorry, not saving it to the database, it's basically sending it to your, actually it's both happening. You're saving it to database and sending it to your front end HTML. You can probably see this code somewhere, not here. Yeah, this form is being rendered here. So that's the usual flow in most Django project. You create your model in model folder, and in forms you're probably going to send some forms, and that form will be handled in your views folder, and the views sends your data to your front end HTML page. So stuff, tickets, yeah, it's the same stuff again. Update, I'm just getting the data from front end. When he presses the data, it's pretty much, I just explained it. It's the same thing. All tickets, again, this is for the manager, specific to manager. I'm just getting all the data here. And assign ticket, same. Is it the same? Yeah, I mean, nothing too fancy here. It's the same. This is just you just have to register everything. And coming to the fancy features that we have used, I've used for this icon, we used font awesome. Just copying CDN and using itag, you can just use that. And this is pretty interesting, actually. You might think it's so complicated to create this search bar and this pagination and controlling all these, how many entries that you can have, but it's not, to be honest. We use something called data tables. Let me just show that. Data tables, Bootstrap. So if you just go over the documentation, so in your JavaScript, in your head part of your HTML, just copy this and copy these CDNs and get these CSS CDNs, 5 in total, and create your table just like this. And just make sure that your table has this ID example. So if you're done with that, then that's about it. You don't need to do anything else with this. It's a really cool feature. Uh, I think that's it. Pretty much that's it. That's the project. Thank you.